everyone, and welcome back to another pregnancy update. So as of right now, I am almost 35 weeks. I'll be 35 weeks in just 2 days. So we're gonna do up to like 34 weeks, and I might tell y'all about some things that have been happening in the past couple of days. So I do have an ultrasound in 2 days. I'm really hoping I make it to that ultrasound because things are changing in my body. First of all, symptom-wise, I have been extremely nauseous for like the past 2 weeks. Just like off and on, just really bad nausea, but I think it's a lot to do with the heartburn I'm experiencing too. The heartburn is getting so much worse. I am having to pretty much sleep on an incline to try to keep all that acid down. I'm having to watch what I eat to try not to make any more acid. I'm having to take stool softeners every day, TMI, but that's pregnancy. So things are just starting to go haywire in my body. And I think it's been about probably almost 3 weeks now since I went to the hospital again. I had my baby shower and I was doing too much, and like I think it was the next day after. No. So it was about 3 days after my baby shower, and I had been feeling a lot of cramping the days leading up to that. I had like 5 days of just like my lower stomach was constantly cramping, and I wasn't having much contractions, just really uncomfortable, lower back pain. And when I went to bed the night before I went to the hospital, I noticed that there was a lot of discharge. Not just like, it wasn't anything weird or anything, but there was just more discharge than I had been having in like the past months. So I tried my best to sleep that night, couldn't sleep very well whatsoever. So I went to the doctor the next morning. I called the on-call nurse and I asked them, I feel like there's stuff changing down there. I did a self-check, and my cervix was a lot lower than it usually is, and I just feel like I need to come in and at least get checked and monitored, because I feel like things are happening and it's too early, because at that point I was at 32 weeks. So I went into the hospital. They monitored me for about 3 hours. They checked me and let me know that I was dilated to a 1. And usually I don't dilate early. I start dilating like right before I have my kids. So to them it wasn't that concerning, but me knowing my body and my history with my pregnancies, it worried me. And when they were monitoring me, I did have a couple of contractions, but they were really spread out and they were very erratic. So it was nothing really to like keep me at the hospital. They did the fetal fibronectin. They checked me for a yeast infection, and they checked me to make sure my water hadn't broken, and all of those were negative, of course. So they sent me home and told me just to keep taking my Procardia and just take it easy and actually do bed rest, because I told them that I was still trying to be stubborn and not do real bed rest. So I have been on actual bed rest for the past 2 weeks, and the constant cramping has gone away. But if I do like anything, pretty much, I start hurting like within 10 minutes. So I try my best to let the people around me help me. My best friend has agreed to move in with us. We have a spare bedroom upstairs, and it's pretty much like a garage apartment. So she has like her own area up there. So we moved her in where she could be here to help me with the kids during the day, and also just in case anything happens, I have that peace of mind that someone's going to be here for the kids, and I can just go to the hospital if it's time. So that has made me feel a lot more secure. I am so thankful that she is in the position where she works from home, and she pretty much all she needs is internet and some peace and quiet sometimes. And I am able to have her here all the time in case something happens or in case I need help with something. And she's just so gracious. She won't even let me like carry like a laundry basket or anything. And as annoying as it is to ask for help and admit I need help, I do. And I'm trying to just tell myself every day I'm doing what I need to do to keep this baby in there and keep it healthy and keep her growing as long as possible. So yeah, I'm struggling with it, but I kind of have no choice. So besides all the other stuff I already mentioned, my pubic bone is definitely getting ready to let this baby out. Like, my pubic bone hurts so bad that it feels like when I move my legs, it feels like it's going to break in half. It is the worst I've ever had with any of my pregnancies. I don't know if it's because she is already so low or if it's because I'm 31. I'm getting older, but it's just so dang uncomfortable. And I want to have her out of me so bad because I'm uncomfortable, but also I know that I need to keep her in there where she can keep on growing. They did give me my steroid shots, both rounds. I had one when I was in the hospital that day on the 19th, and then I had one the following day after, because you're supposed to get them like 24 hours apart. So I did get both of the steroid shots, so in case I do have her early, it would help her lungs a little bit develop and all of that. So that made me feel better that my doctor did agree to go ahead and give me that. I didn't see my doctor again until I think it was like 5 days after that. And she checked me again and told me that I was at the exact same dilation. And she said that my cervix was still high at that point. It was lower than it usually is, yes, but it wasn't like, I don't know, as low as it could be. So if you don't know what I'm talking about whatsoever, like usually, I'm gonna get graphic, but usually like you have your vaginal opening and then you have your canal and then your cervix, you know, so it's like a little donut at the back of it. And usually it's turned towards the back a little bit where, you know, it won't get in the way of anything. So usually it's sitting like this, like your cervix is way up there. So if you stick your fingers in, you have to stick your fingers in pretty far to be able to feel your cervix. So as you start getting closer to having your baby, your cervix actually turns and starts getting closer to that vaginal opening. And once you have your baby, it's like right there. And then when it dilates, you dilate on the outside, or you stretch on the outside to let that baby out. So usually cervix is way back here, closed, tight and everything. And then it starts to turn and get closer to the opening, and then it starts to thin out and open. So my cervix is starting to come down, or it was at that appointment. It's starting to come down a little bit, but not like so close to where I'm about to have this kid any day. So that was good to hear. But I told her, like, I know my body, things are changing. I lost like the teeniest little piece of my mucus plug, and I did that with my last pregnancy. I just lost like pieces of it until like the morning that I had him, and then I lost a big chunk of it. But with my first one, I lost every bit of it at the same time, and it was nothing like I expected. It was like a pretty big glob of really thick, like putty, like yellowish see-through putty that came out. And the second time around, it was just like little pieces of that material until the morning I had him, and then there was like a little bit of a chunk, but not a big one because I'd been losing it for like a week. So I did lose a little teeny piece of that, and that was like maybe 4 or 5 days ago. And then today I've lost just a couple of more pieces, and I went ahead and did another self-check. They don't recommend you do that because you could introduce bacteria. but I made sure that I washed my hands really good, and I did not stick any fingers inside my cervix, but my cervix is getting very close to my vaginal opening. So it's getting close, and as excited as I am to meet her and for it to be over with, and I'm also sad. I guess this is my last pregnancy. This is the last time I'm going to get to enjoy something moving inside me and feel that life growing inside me. And just knowing that that chapter is about to close, it does make me sad, because pregnancy is not easy for me whatsoever, and I do not want to go through this again. But pregnancy is also so beautiful. Sorry, the emotions are a bit on edge. But it does. It's like a closing of a chapter in my life. The closing of making babies, and now I'm moving into the chapter of just raising babies, which is a relief in a way, because my body, I don't think, could handle another pregnancy very well. It'd probably be a very difficult pregnancy again, and all the pains would be worse. All the pains would come on quicker. So I'm happy that this is my last pregnancy, but knowing that this is the very, very last time that I'm going to be pregnant and get to experience all of these pregnancy things that I am so lucky to have gotten to experience, it makes me kind of sad. It makes me kind of feel old too. I mean, I am 31. I had my first baby at 26. So there's a lot of differences 5 years later. And I wouldn't trade any of my pregnancies whatsoever, even though they've all had their own complications, even though I've been so uncomfortable. I would not trade my babies for anything. I wouldn't trade any of those experiences for anything. So whenever she decides to come, I'm ready, but I want her to stay in there just a little bit longer. At that doctor's appointment, we did talk about my hospital's like capabilities, I guess you'd call it, and they are a level 2 NICU, so they can handle babies as young as 31 weeks, and I am now pretty much at 35 weeks, so they would be able to handle taking care of my baby. That's given that she doesn't have anything like severely wrong, like, I don't know, there's all kinds of stuff that could go wrong. But at 35 weeks, she is more than viable. Her lungs would be a little bit underdeveloped. Her digestive system would be a little bit underdeveloped, so she might have a little bit of trouble feeding, but she should be able to make it just fine, which is reassuring. I'm still concerned though, because there's a chance that they would not let her come home with me until her feeding got better, or whatever complications she was having were gone, and she might have to stay in the NICU for like a week or two. And just the thought of coming home without my baby is really hard too. And I would have to go up to the hospital and pump for her every 4 hours. I think that's what we talked about. That would be the schedule. But that's another reason that I'm very thankful that my friend is here, and she's going to stay here until all that is settled, and I know that I can do this by myself. But if that's the case, if I have a NICU baby, then she's here to take care of my kids at home while I go up to the hospital that is like a good 40 minutes away and take care of my baby multiple times a day. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm praying that that doesn't happen, and she comes out just ready to fight, and she is fully ready to be a little human. Absolutely everything in our house is ready for her. We have the bassinet set up in our room. I have all of my baskets set up. The only thing I have to do is decide whether she's going to be in newborn or preemie diapers and put those out in all of my little diapering sections, and we are ready for her. We have the swing, freezer meals all stocked up, ready to go. So if she comes, we're ready for her. I put all of her like cute stuff on her, oh God, what's it called? The car seat today. We got all of like the trash and nastiness out of our truck. I did not move around all the car seats yet because if I do go anywhere in like the next week with my kids, I don't want to have to take my toddler to the opposite side of the truck just out of pure laziness pretty much. But all we have to do is like slide over a seat and I can put her car seat in. So that's not going to be a very, very hard thing to do, and my husband can do that while I'm contracting inside. I do plan on laboring at home for a couple of hours with this one. Even though we live a little bit further away from the hospital, we used to live like literally 10 minutes away from the hospital I'm delivering at, and now, like I said, we live like 40 away. But that concerns my husband a lot. He does not want to have the baby in the truck. That's like his biggest concern with the whole laboring thing. He just wants to get me to the hospital where they can deal with it. But with my last birth, when I got to the hospital, I was only at a 2. And if my water hadn't have broken, they wouldn't have kept me in the hospital. So I know that this time I need to labor at home for a while. And I want to labor at home for a while because once you get in the hospital, it's just, there's nowhere comfortable to be. You're not in your own setting, can't eat anything. So this time, like as soon as I know for sure I'm in labor, I will of course alert my doctor, let her know what's going on. But if I feel like there is definitely time for me to labor at home and like I should, I'm gonna labor at home because I don't want to rush to the hospital and just be sitting there uncomfortable. So that's the plan as of right now. I don't know when I'm going to go into labor. I'm guessing in the next week that I will go into labor and we will have this baby. So this might be the last update I have. If not, I'm going to start doing weekly updates because I will not have very many more of these. But after I have her, I don't know what kind of upload schedule I'm going to have. I have a few videos that I need to edit right now that I could like just space out a little bit to keep content coming out, but I really don't know how much I'll be filming once she gets here. It all depends on how we're all feeling, what's going on, and all of that stuff. So hopefully y'all still keep seeing my face. Hopefully y'all see her face soon, and hopefully she doesn't have to stay in the NICU and we get to bring her home. So that, I think that's all I have for this update. Stay on baby watch. It's happening soon. That's all I can say for y'all. So if y'all want to see when I'm going to be going into labor, hit that subscribe bell down there. Hit the little bell notification where you get notifications of when my videos are going to come out. Follow me on Instagram because I will be posting there first, of course, like when I'm in labor. And that's where you will see the first pictures of baby as well. And my Instagram is always in the description down below, but if you don't want to go down there and look, it's just the same as my channel name. And yeah, that's where you'll get more up-to-date, quicker updates than here. But I think that's it, other than showing out the bump. Oh God, see, like just moving my legs like that, it hurts so bad. And it can't just be because I'm old. It can't. There's the baby bump getting really big. She is definitely dropped. Like there's nothing up here. It's all down here. She is head down. Just look at that belly. And I don't think I've gotten any new stretch marks, which is awesome. But yeah. Big belly. Hopefully big enough baby. Oh, that is one more thing that I wanted to mention. I have not gained any weight in the past month. I've been sitting at 160 since my last update. So I'm slightly concerned about if she's still growing and if she's gaining weight. Sorry, my dog's face is in the picture. He's just making sure I'm okay because I'm making noises on the floor. But I'm really hoping that her birth weight is still going up and she's still growing in there. I will find out in 2 days if that is true or not. Hopefully I don't go into labor before then. But I'm guessing if she's not growing and not thriving anymore in there, they're gonna induce me anyways. So either way, we'll be meeting baby Haley very soon. But I hope that y'all stick around for that and are excited to meet her. We certainly are very excited to meet her. I cannot wait to see her big brothers with her. But that is all for this update, and hopefully I will see y'all in 1 week with another one, and hopefully she's still in there. But until then, I will see y'all next time. Bye.